Tonight's opponent, the Washington Wizards, is having a very different kind of season. An underachieving 38-37, trying to sneak into the 8th and final spot in the Eastern Conference playoff race. And also, possible charges of sexual assault are pending against their best two players, Chris Webber and Juwan Howard. And for the latest on that, downstairs to Bill Weir.
That's right, Dan. Sexual allegations out of the nation's capital, nothing new in this age. But now two of Washington's most visible athletes are the accused. An unidentified woman claims she was sexually assaulted by Juwan Howard and Chris Webber early Sunday morning at a party in Howard's Potomac, Maryland home. Now, last night, police searched that residence along with that of Webber. They made clear no charges have been filed, and this is not a rape investigation. Meanwhile, both men deny any wrongdoing.
The police. And we didn't know a police station or nothing like that. I mean, you can go check records and stuff like that and see if we've been to some type of police station. Nothing like that. Let's talk about basketball. Let's talk about beating the Chicago Bulls tomorrow. This right here is totally a big distraction. And, you know, it hurts my heart, you know, for you guys to come here and ask me something like that. But, you know, I understand your position. It depresses you because it's a distraction to you and your family, especially when something's totally untrue like this.
Investigators want to talk to both men when they return back home after tonight's game, so much more won't be known until then. This is not the first brush with the law for either men. Since early in the winter, both men were stopped for speeding charges. Some other drug possession charges followed in Webber's case. In fact, the state of Maryland is still trying to take away his driving privileges for 6 months. But the key as far as basketball is concerned is yet another thing to struggle through focus-wise just as the team reaches a pivotal point and trying to reach that final playoff spot. Dan?
No question about that, Bill. You know, their season is boiling down to a possibly disastrous finish. It looked like Washington had it all when the season began. A new nickname, a new building, and a chance for a fresh start. But this nondescript franchise is really struggling right now, and it looks as though they are in for a very rough time as they head toward the end of the season. It took everything the Bulls could muster to dodge the Bullets in their opening playoff series last April. And there were few teams looking forward to playing the new Washington Wizards this season. But so far, the Wizards are producing mostly black magic. Their 7'7" defensive stopper, George Murasan, injured his leg this summer and hasn't played since. We'll assume he didn't do it tripping over Billy Crystal while shooting their movie, My Giant. But he's been sitting all season.
They pay for this? They're so stupid.
Yes, it is, but Washington looked okay even without the big man. Chris Webber and Juwan Howard can play with anybody up front, and Rod Strickland's terrific at the point. But they've had their own problems. To borrow another line from Murasan's movie,
I have a question.
Yes, Emperor.
How big is your
rap sheet. Howard and Strickland embarrassed the franchise, arrested in separate incidents for driving while impaired. And in January, Webber was hit with marijuana and traffic charges while driving to practice. All this hasn't torn the team apart, but it certainly hasn't been a positive experience. When these three are healthy and focused, they're as threatening a trio as you'll find anywhere. But Webber and Howard have missed a bunch of games, and Strickland may have burned himself out trying to compensate. They're all playing tonight, though, and Bernie Bickerstaff has other weapons, too. Calbert Chaney's having his best NBA season, and Tracy Murray has a 50-point game on his resume this year. The Wizards are 9th in the Eastern Conference playoff race, but closing. Their win Sunday over Orlando was critical to their postseason hopes. But you never know with this team. One of 6 clubs to beat all 4 division leaders this season, they've also lost season series to Boston and Philly. Now they're desperate, and every man, even the movie mogul, has a collective quest.
Christmas enemy!
But they're in the ring with the Bullies tonight.